Today on Western Sports Roundup, it is Resistol Rookie Tuesday, and we will have a chance to catch up with that cowgirl right there who happens to be the #1 rookie in the breakaway roping. Jaci Hammons will join us today.
Cinch Time Event Championship getting ready to take place up at the Lazy E Arena. Team roper is making his way into the lineup because a former champion of that event at the Lazy E is out due to a back injury. We will tell you all about it.
And the band of brothers, the Men in Blue, one of them captures the title in Fort Worth, Texas. Rusty Wright will join us today and talk about the big win and his future plans for 2026.
He nodded his head the first time 2 weeks ago. Oh, I got another main shaker. These big shaggies still got. The score is even better, 91 points.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome inside of our Cowboy Channel studios here in Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome to Western Sports Roundup. I'm Ty McClary alongside Corey Keith. And Corey, as we get into it today, Cinch Time Event Championships getting ready to take place there at the Lazy E Arena. And we've got another contestant to talk about that's out due to injury, and we're going to have to replace him. But the thing is that I want folks to understand this. As we begin to tell you this story about Jaci Flake replacing Jess Turney, I want people to understand what this event is all about. 5 different events they compete in. So a lot of these guys getting prepared to go to that event sometimes get injured practicing in the events they're not familiar with.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It is a gruesoming few days at the Lazy E. It is truly a Iron Man's championship. And Jaci Flake, he has dreamed about this since he was 5 years old. He can remember his dad talking about the great stories of this event, and he wants to be a part of it.
He's been on the replacement list for quite a few years now, and like I said, he's replacing Jess Turney, who won the event back in 2017, who's out with a back injury. Jaci had this to say: bulldogging was taken very seriously at the University of Wyoming, where he went to school. He said, so I guess the last one that I ran was in a college rodeo back in 2021. He went on to say that I've been tying the dummy and got super lucky when Jimmy Brazil's been helping him. Said he came over twice this week and taught me how to tie and right hand and left-handed tie. Now, I want you folks to realize who Jimmy Brazil is. That is not only the father of Trevor Brazil, the 26-time world champion, but also the 7-time champion of this event at the timed event. So Jaci Flake has got some pretty good help up his sleeve trying to get himself ready to go here.
Yeah, and you know, I can remember in his college days, I announced a lot of those rodeos up in the Central Rocky Mountain region. He was a force to be reckoned with in the bulldogging, tie-down roping. I thought those were 2 of his best events. But team roping, obviously, he's taken it to a new level in professional rodeo. I'm going to be really excited to see what he can do. Steer roping is what he's going to have to focus on, which, as you can see, when you're tying from both sides, that's the key to getting those steers to stay down.
That is tough. You know, you never know if those steers in the steer rope are going to lay on the right side or the left side for a right-handed tie or left-handed tie. But he's working on it, and Jaci Flake is getting ready for it. March the 5th through the 7th. You saw the updated list of the contestants that have been replaced, and now we add another one to that with Jaci Flake replacing Jess Turney there at the Cinch Time Event Championship.
Yeah, the beautiful, fabulous Lazy E Arena, they say. And speaking of the Lazy E, there was a big bull riding there over the weekend called the Bullnanza. It has been around for a long time, and some of the best bull riders in the world, and a lot of them, actually.
Yeah, a lot of bull riders, and you're right, it has been around a day or two. It started all the way back in 1989, back there in the late 80s. In fact, Lane Frost, Tuff Hedeman, guys like that had something to do with the start of this event. It actually used to be called Bullmania back in those days, and it's continued right on. And of course, now part of the PRCA and the Extreme Bulls Tour. There's a look at Cord McCoy, who put this event on. Of course, he competed there some years ago as a bull rider, and we're going to give you about the top 5 or 6 guys that placed there at the event.
Yeah, Quinn Anderson, one of those guys, made his first NFR season ago, as well as Jesse Petrie, 86 points. They split that 5th place round money, $2,500 each. You got to understand that I'm not mistaken. There was 100 bull riders at this event. There was 50 per night. So to win this thing is pretty special.
It's always kind of been one of those events that pays good. So that's the reason I think you see a lot of bullet riders up there. Of course, talking about Quinn and Jesse right here. Quinn, money in Fort Worth for him at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. He made it all the way to the semifinals. Couldn't get out of that. Jesse, of course, both of those guys went to their first NFR last year. Jesse already in the top 20 in the world standings for this season as well.
Yeah, and here comes Raleigh Johnson. This was a big-time ride. 89 points versus Tulsa time. That is an NFR bull. That bull's also been to the PBR World Finals 6 different times. Look how he fades across the arena, really stretches out his feet. Raleigh Johnson, I'm just glad to see him back. You know, last season he got injured during the NFR, was unable to compete in the final few rounds. It's all about staying healthy in this game, but boy, not a good get off right there, but he walks away safely. He's number 24 in the world because of that ride.
All right, as we take you to the top 2 now from Bullnanza in Guthrie, Oklahoma last weekend at the Lazy E Arena. Here's a young guy to talk about. In fact, both of these guys are the young guns in professional rodeo right now. Jet Wheeler is only 18 years old. Of course, he's from Canada. 90 points on McCoy Rodeo's Blue Duck. It's pretty fitting that they won second on this bull, because if you go back and look a year ago at this same event, they won second on Blue Duck as well. So pretty familiar territory for that McCoy Rodeo bull.
That is a 2-time PBR World Finals bull, NFR. Matter of fact, TJ Gray was 90.5 on that bull in Las Vegas during the NFR. So Jet Wheeler, though, the 18-year-old kid getting a piece of it, he's 90. It's pretty impressive, but if you think that was impressive, wait till you see this kid. You might even know the last name. His dad is a PBR world champion by the name of Mike Lee, but here comes Noah Lee, 90.5 versus the Hondo. And Ty, this is his first ever event in professional rodeo, and it was worth $12,831.
He just turned 18 at the middle part of January. I mean, my goodness, he was waiting on this day, and this was the first one available for him to enter. And here's the way the story goes, at least what we're being told. He obviously will fill his permit right there with that amount of money, over 12, almost 13,000 that he got won there at Bullnanza for winning the event. He is now going to just step over, buy his card. So he's going to be one of those rookie guys we talk about. Pretty fitting for Resistol Rookie Day here on Western Sports Roundup. But wow, the young guns kind of showing the rest of the field up right there. And I guess I shouldn't say that, because Ollie Johnson, Dakota Hill, those guys they're kind of young guns still as well.
Young guns
Noah
too.
Lee, he's getting the big money.
You know, it really surprises me. To fill your permit, you have to win $1,000. I'm really surprised that they have not changed that number. Now I'm going to get all sorts of hate mail and texts from contestants like, don't change that number. I haven't got my card yet. But in all seriousness, the way these rodeos are going, they're adding more money. It's looking pretty bright for rodeo at the time.
It definitely is, and it's definitely bright for the young 18-year-old there. Congratulations to him. So that's the way it looked at Bullnanza at the Lazy E Arena. We invite you to stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup. Since it's Resistol Rookie Tuesday, we're going to talk to one, and that is a breakaway roper who is having a really good season here in 2026.
Well, and of course, we will also talk more bull riding with the professional bull riders, their big event that was inside the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. We'll tell you about the champions a little bit later.
Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of the PRCA, and Cowboys everywhere. Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Rock and Roll Denim. Live boldly. Live in rock and roll denim.
Well, as we continue this quest here on this Tuesday on Western Sports Roundup, it is Rookie Tuesday, and we always like to take the opportunity to catch up with the young guns and the young stars of professional rodeo in all events. And this week, it leads us to the #1 breakaway roper in the Resistol Rookie race this season. Jaci Hammons joins us right now. Thank you for taking some time with us today, JC.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Hey, I know you just had a pretty big week in Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, and rookie jitters didn't seem to be a problem in the one bracket, 2 and 5. Tell us about your experience roping in Dickies.
Yes, sir. So I was there for the rookie rally too, and I didn't draw the best at the rookie rally in my first round in Fort Worth. But finally got a good calf for my second round and got the 2.5.
JC, when
Definitely
you
made me feel a little better.
Yeah, I bet it did. Sorry to interrupt you there. When you talk about that, though, that's just part of that bracket-style competition at Fort Worth. I mean, I know you started out in the rookie rally, which was separate from the actual stuff from the rodeo itself, but then, of course, you made your way into the bracket competition. But as you did that, you didn't let that tough luck in the rookie rally dwell on anything. I mean, you just came right back, nodded your head, and went and got some money in the brackets. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yes, sir. The big money was in the brackets, and I really wanted to get to the semifinals. But can't really let bad draws get into your head because you can't do anything about it. So you just got to go and do what you can with what you get.
You know, as a rookie, I always like asking this question because there's a lot of places you guys haven't been to. What's a rodeo that you're looking forward to journeying off to this season?
Oh man, there's a lot of them, but I guess being a rookie and being qualified for Houston, that's a pretty big one. But of course, all the big ones, Cheyenne, that one's going to be fun. But I've gotten to follow my husband around to a bunch of different rodeos and have kind of seen how it is. But it's exciting to be the one actually entered this time.
Yeah, so your husband that you're speaking of actually is a saddle bronc rider. But JC, I want you to back up a little bit. Kind of tell us the Jaci Hammons story, where you grew up, kind of your life growing up as a child that obviously kept you involved in rodeo. But tell us a little bit about the backstory for you.
Yes, sir. I grew up in Goldthwaite. My dad always worked on ranches, so having roping with him out in the pasture, I really didn't have a choice. He needed my help, and if I wasn't in school, I was with him. So that really got my attention, and my love for the sport there kind of grew, and just grew up team roping, and breakaway kind of came a little bit later.
Hey, so growing up on the ranch like that, I assume you train your own horses or, kind of get them seasoned how you want them. They are seasoned a little bit different when you can get them out there in front of all the grass and all the different elements. How is training your own horses?
It's a lot of fun. This bay horse that I've been riding, he was a workhorse for probably the first 6 or 7 years of his life. He went out to Alpine. My dad works out there now, and doctored a bunch of cattle. So he knows a day's work, and I didn't probably start roping off of him till he was about 8. And but he was so easy to train. I guess probably after my dad having him and working on him. So it was a lot of fun.
We're obviously seeing some video from you from this season where 2026 has been really good to you. I mean, you're number 2 in the world standings right now. Cook's Rodeo Days back in November was very good to you as well. What was it for this year that you decided, you know what, I want to hit the road in the WPRA in the world of professional rodeo and make this my Resistol rookie season? What was actually the final judgment on that?
Well, for sure, winning has helped that a lot, but I've just really gotten in timing with this horse of mine finally. Everything's just felt really good and gone my way. So as long as I keep winning, I can keep going.
Hey, so I know entering these rodeos there's a science to it. There's a lot of thought that goes into how you're going to get there, when you're going to be up. Is anybody helping you enter rodeos, or are you just winging it this season?
I'm getting a little, my husband's been helping me a lot because he's been going since 2020. And so he's kind of given me the gist. He kind of knows what rodeos to go to for the most part. It's a little different with rough stock and breakaway, but he's been a big help. And then I just have a few friends that, I can text and ask them, if they're going or which ones they're going to. But it's a lot of winging it because, I mean, I can sit there and look at rodeos and the schedule and the map, and it's just a lot. So it's good to have some feedback from friends and my husband for sure.
JC, as we look at your event of breakaway roping, I mean, it is tough, and it does not matter where you go. I don't care if it was in Fort Worth, you're getting ready to head to these big rodeos the rest of this winter here on the Texas Swing, and then get into the summer. You talked about Cheyenne and some of those great rodeos, but where I'm headed with this is, what do you feel like, what are you going to try to focus on so much this year to keep your name at the top of the game? Whether it's the indoor rodeos where you girls are trying to be 1-7, 1-8, 1-9, or maybe the big outdoor rodeos at Cheyenne or Calgary, if you get to go to some of those later in the year where it takes a darn good horse and go run one down in the breakaway roping. But what is that one or two things that you're going to really try to focus on for this season?
Man, I just want to have fun. I never would have thought that I would have been here already this year. And I figured take me a couple of years to get to these big rodeos and be able to. So just the fact that I'm even thinking about entering these rodeos and going is crazy. So I'm just going to try to keep it all slowed down and take it run by run and do what I can with my calf that I get drawn and just have fun, honestly.
So I know in the world of breakaway roping, Ty just kind of touched on this for a moment. It's a tough sport, but you're kind of living in the heart of all of it right now in Dublin, Texas, just outside of Stephenville. Is there any other breakaway ropers that you've looked up to the last couple of seasons that you're looking forward to competing against that maybe you've got to practice with now, getting ready for the 2026 run?
Yes, sir. So Bo Peterson, I've always loved the way she ropes. Josie Connor, she's always been somebody that I think ropes so sharp and so perfect. Ricky Ingesser and her sister Taylor have let me come rope there, and I look up to them too. They both are very good horsemen and they rope phenomenal. So just to have their input too and their help is so amazing.
Well, I love how you bring up some of those names because their roping styles are very similar to you. Most of them grew up ranching background just like you, so I think those are some good girls to have in your corner.
Yes, and they're very good people. They're very nice. Anytime I've needed to text them or ask them a question, they've been very willing. So it's nice to have them to talk to.
Well, Jaci, congratulations on what you've already done for this season. I know we're only in early part of February and there's a lot of year left, but you're having a good one so far. Congratulations on that and the success that you've already had, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
That is Jaci Hammons joining us here on the show. Your #1 rookie right now in the world standings there at the WPRA. You see right there, she's a little over 13,000 already on the season. Looking really good. Had a lot of luck in Fort Worth. It's good to get to know a young gal like that might be one you better pay attention to for this year.
Yeah, well, stick around if you want to keep up with Western sports. We'll take you out to Salt Lake City inside the Delta Center. The PBR unfolded over the weekend, and we're going to talk about the champions on the other side of this break.
Well, if not everybody's favorite, certainly Alex is in the moment, focused and formidable. This could rival the lead.
This should rival the lead. And
no way Crimper was going to be denied as he goes the distance.
PBR made another stop in Salt Lake City, part of their Unleash the Beast tour, as it made a stop there for 2 sold-out nights on Friday and Saturday night. Big-time crowd there in Salt Lake, and figured we better update you on what went on there, who were the round winners, who was the champions. When it was all said and done, there's a new man at the top of the world standings as well. I'll tell you about that in a moment. First off, it was the round 1 winner, Alex Cerqueda.
Yeah, he's a late bloomer to the United States. He didn't come over here till he was 26 years old, which I found very odd. But, his partner, Joao Ricardo Vieira, really inspired him to come over and said, hey, if you make this trip, you're going to better your life, you're going to better your family. Now, since then, he's a 3-time PBR world finalist and really off to a great start in 2026, riding with some confidence.
88.90 was the championship spot for round number 1. As we take you to round number 2, here is a look at it. That is Caden Loud versus Bearcat. And, of course, ended up there with an 88.20.
Yeah, the Coffin, Texas Cowboy is maybe making some noise. once again this season. He's now a two-time PBR World Finalist, and if I counted it correctly, this was his 6th big-time ride of his career, so he's had multiple big finishes. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do in the future. But Thiago Salgado, man, versus what's popping, this was special. 88.5, it was worth 2nd place. This is a guy that's piece of the Florida Freedom, is a big integral part of that organization, and he found a little momentum in Salt Lake City. He's going to have some things moving forward under that pressure.
Speaking of that momentum, that bull got faster and faster about halfway through that ride, turning back to the left into his hand, left-handed bull rider and a left-handed spin. That's the way they're supposed to look for 88.5. That was 2nd place. Caden was 3rd in the round. Then Thiago Salgado was 2nd. And then this guy, John Crimber, what has he not done already in his young career? Sucker Pop was his dance partner. 90 points to get round number 2 win.
Yeah, this kid is unbelievable. I remember when he came on scene in the Challenger Series just a couple of years ago, it just seemed like a matter of time. Like, well, he's not going to be here very long. He's going to be right here on the big screen going 90 wherever he nods his head. He's the youngest millionaire in the PBR. I found that an interesting stat. He's only 20 years old, still has a lot of time left to continue adding some more dollars to his pockets. Oh
yeah, and he'll continue to do exactly that. But your champion before, when it was all said and done after 2 days of competition, Paulo Rosetto, Scrappy was his dance partner in the finals, 88.90 for the championship round. Here's the interesting story about this guy over the weekend. Rode bulls with both hands. So not just because of an injury, just decide, well, this bull goes the other way, I'll ride right-handed. He rode his first couple bulls left-handed and then ties one on for right-handed.
Yeah, I know, and that's why he's a big part of that Missouri Thunder. That's why they recruited him, because of his versatility. In the world of the bull riding, the PBR, it's called a switch hitter, and being able to in the moment say, okay, I'm going to ride with my left hand because this bull rider, it's more rider friendly, which no, there's no such thing as a rider friendly bull. But if you could ride him with your left hand, the probability goes up that much more versus the right hand. But there's a look at the overall aggregate results.
Paulo just barely ahead of John Crimber there. Look how close really all of them were, or at least the top 3 guys anyway, between Paulo and John and Alex. That's the way it looked for the average results after Salt Lake City. But when you look at the UTB standings for the year, there's a new number 1. John Crimber is the man up there with 444 points. Dalton Castle was not at the event, out of injury right now, but John is now number 1.
Yeah, Clay Guyton also got injured as well, so 2 guys on that list out. And of course, John Crimber, though, he's going to be after a world title before it's all said and done. And I know there's been some young world champions before, but John Crimber just continues to impress.
Watch out for that guy, that is for sure. PBR is headed to Pittsburgh. The Unleash the Beast Tour continues this Valentine's weekend, February the 13th and 14th, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So you can check that out if you follow the PBR. And we invite you to stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup. How about the guy that was a co-champion at the big rodeo this past weekend at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, all part of our Texas Swing here on the Cowboy Channel. For the Wright members, Rusty will join us when we come back.
He nodded his head the first time 2 weeks ago. Oh, I got another mane shaker. These big shaggies still got Alberta and Montana fur on them. He nodded his head the first time 2 weeks ago. Oh, I got another mane shaker. These big shaggies still got Alberta and Montana fur on them. Outstanding. The score is even better, 91 points.
That is the co-champion from the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo this past weekend in the saddle bronc riding, Rusty Wright, and he joins us right now on Western Sports Roundup. Rusty, kind of reliving that ride on Calgary Stampede's Dandy Delight. That brings back probably some pretty good feeling from last Saturday night, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got my adrenaline pumping just watching it. You know, it was exciting.
Hey, I'll be honest, when you first came on the Zoom, I didn't hardly recognize you without a blue shirt. I thought you guys wore them all the time.
Oh, I left them all. I flew home. I left all my blue shirts down in Texas.
You'll have it back
I didn't have
on.
the option today.
Yeah, you'll have it back on when you nod your head in San Antonio here in a week or two, so that'll be fine. Rusty, listening to your interviews this season, I mean, you're #1 now in the world standings. Everything that I've been talking about here on the Cowboy Channel with you for the last couple of weeks, it just seems like a new Rusty Wright has hit the ground in 2026. And the thing about that to me is not taking anything away from your last seasons of rodeo. I mean, you've been to 5 qualifications, the National Finals Rodeo, but it just seems like 2026 is off on the right foot.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I quit drinking, and you know, my body feels better. I lost a lot of weight that I didn't know I needed to lose, and you know, I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. I got a happy home life, and that's really important. Something I didn't really know mattered as much as it does. And you know, I've never been this healthy, I don't think, and my mind's in the right spot. You know, healthy mentally and physically. So this year, it feels different to me. It doesn't just look different to you guys. It feels and looks different all over to me. So, and I'm loving it.
What do you think, and you may have just answered this question, but I'm going to kind of ask it again. What's the biggest change that you've noticed?
I've noticed, well, you know, the not drinking, it ain't only helped my my bronc riding. You know, it's helped my mental state and everything, the way I think, the way you know, I go about anything, and it's made the home life better. You know, my quality of time with family and my wife, my kids, you know, is just a lot better. So I don't know. I'm just, you know, mentally all there and really happy. I don't think I've been this genuinely happy in a long time or ever.
Well, man, I'll be honest, Ty and I both agree on this. We love seeing this. This is a new version of Rusty that we love. Now, I want to talk about the Wright family. I know everyone talks about the legacy and the gold buckles. Well, we got to get you one. And I read in an article somewhere, it said getting a gold buckle this year would mean more to you than anything else or to anyone else. Can you explain that?
Yeah, you know what? I don't really mean to be a sad sob story, but you know, I've been through a lot in the arena and out, you know, injuries and stuff going on the outside. You know, I've worked really hard to, you know, get back the top of my game. And the thing that excites me is I don't feel like this is the best I can do. I feel like I just keep getting better. You know, I'm doing the things that I think it takes to win, and it just seems to keep getting better. And, you know, so winning a gold buckle, it would mean, you know, I can't even explain what it'd mean to me, but also, I think another thing that's big and that's helping me this year is I don't really think that a gold buckle is going to define me at the end of my career. I'm helping people in other ways. So I don't know. I really do want a gold buckle, but I'm okay with not ever having one. I think my story has started doing for people and me seeing it help people out, you know, that's better than any gold buckle you could ever have.
Man, that is such an awesome story, and I love hearing that. That's cool that we get to share that with our fans here on the Cowboy Channel, so thanks for providing that for us. Rusty, when we look at your season already for 2026, I mean, we're in the early part of February. You're #1 in the world standings right now with over $70,000 already won on the season, so I want to know this. I realize that you've got things better at home, you've got your mind space back right, your head is in a good spot, but is there anything that you've changed with your riding style for this season? I mean, because when I watch you ride, it seems like to me that just everything is clicking. Your saddle looks like it fits perfect, but is there anything that you're doing differently? We're watching you from the Chase Hawks where you won that event back late last year. I mean, is there anything different for you as far as your riding style itself goes?
I didn't purposely do anything to change my riding style, but I think right there what you're seeing is me having fun and really enjoying riding Broncs. I haven't done that in a few years. You know, I kind of was doing it for the money and for, you know, really that's about it. I was just riding Broncs for the money, and now I've fell back in love with it. That's all I think about. It's all I want to do. So I really think I'm just having fun, and I'm being super aggressive. I'm in better shape than I was, so I think you're seeing a little more snap in my feet and more just being aggressive. My markout's gotten better. I think that's a mental side of things. I just know I can do it, and now I'm just seeing how good I can do it.
Rusty, I remember an interview you did with Katie Lucas just a week or so ago there during the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo that you had drawn up in a couple of those rounds there in Fort Worth that had some pretty stout bucking horses in it. I mean, that's part of the reason we saw you beat 88 and a couple 91s and a 90 there, but you seem to just fit the style when they load those buckers in the chute. That's something that's kind of always been for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I love getting on them. They dang sure make me nervous, but I do know when you draw them kind of horses, all you have to do is, lift on your rein and stay back and throw your feet, and they literally do the rest for you. You just got to be aggressive. So, and I don't know, I kind of got an all-out bronc riding style, so it matches them electric horses that, jump, get in the air, kind of shake a little bit, and I don't know, they fit my style, and I guess I'm lucky enough to be there when the whistle blows with them most of the time.
I'm going to be honest. I think Ryder, Statler, and Stetson, they needed somebody else to kind of up their game a little bit. And just hearing you talk right now, you're on fire, my friend. You are out for something, and I can feel that in the tone of your voice and those replays that we just watched. It's going to be fun watching you this season. But what's one horse that you're hoping to draw this year that you're looking forward to? That's a tough question.
Oh.
Putting you on the spot, in the hot seat.
Oh shoot! Like the one that pops in my mind, I got on a few years ago. Black Tie, I got on him. It was before he come back from injury, and he's been way better even since then. So we didn't get along too well. I got on him in Clovis, and so I'm really itching for another shot at that one. I feel like me and him could be a bunch of points. But Black Tie, right off the top of my head, there's a bunch of good horses that I'd love to get on. Womanizer, Cervies. Oh shoot, I don't know. I'd really. If you give me about 10 minutes, I could give you a whole list.
Well, we might be here 10 minutes just naming off all the great horses that you've been on and been 90 on, if you know what I'm saying. But hey,
yeah, well, it's good.
Off rodeo topic here. This is just your fun question of the day. Of all your brothers, who is the worst driver? I think everyone needs to know the answer to this right now.
It's a toss-up between Stetson and Statler.
I knew it. I knew it. There was never a doubt in my mind for 1 second. That was my guess.
Stetson will ask you after he drives if you're complaining too much. He'll just ask you, "Did you die?"
I love hearing those kind of stories. That's what it's all about. Okay, real quick before we let you go, you shared a little bit of this story during the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo with Katie one day during one of the interviews. But take us back to, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 2014 was the first time you competed, Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, and some guy beat you by just a little bit. You ended up second there at that rodeo. Kind of share that story with us.
Yeah, my rookie year, I got in. Well, I don't even think I got my card yet. I'm pretty sure I filled it there in Fort Worth. So I was on my permit, but we went in the short round, and I was winning the bronc riding for about 2 or 3 rides, and my dad jumped out there and reminded me, he's who showed me everything I know, and he could do it just a little bit better. So, I haven't had much luck in Fort Worth since then. I've made a short round or 2, I think, but I was excited to get back in there, and I was lucky my dad wasn't in there, I guess, because it's been a long time since I've done any good there, and I do wish he would have been there. It was a lot of fun rodeoing with my dad anyways, and, watching him, he brought out the best into everybody that traveled with him, and he dang sure did me.
Well, Rusty, I really hope you have all the success that you've dreamed of this season. Like we just talked about a second ago, we know the change is here. We can feel it in your voice. We can see it in your riding ability. Keep it up and don't look back.
Well, thank you. I'm going to keep on keeping on. It can only get better.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today, and congratulations on a championship in Fort Worth, Texas. That was Rusty Wright, 5-time national finalist, making his way back to Las Vegas after a world championship.
Stay with us here on Western Sports Roundup. They had a qualifier this past weekend in the breakaway roping for Rodeo Austin. Some of those gals are qualifying their way in. We'll tell you who they are when we come back. This week on Ty and Cole Harris's great show, Let's Freakin' Rodeo, here on the Cowboy Channel. You're going to hear from that young lady right there, Jaci Crawford, the world champion. In fact, let's just give you a little teaser of what you're going to hear.
I go as far as I feel comfortable going, because not only that, they had the first women's finals through the WSR. And so
that's an AT&T, or
yeah, and they have the finals at AT&T. Biggest thing is it pays like $60,000 and then a $25,000 all around. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to do it. If I feel uncomfortable, then I won't. That's in November. I go through it. I team rope, do all that, win the all around. So that was a $25,000 deal. And then a few weeks later is the breakaway finals. And in my mind, I'm just sitting there and I was doing something and I was like, man, I don't physically feel bad at all. Like, not at all. Like, a lot of women talk about losing balance or losing strength, like anything. Never felt it. I never felt that. Now, I was tired. I mean, Charlie has pictures of me. I would be roping and doing so. I was like, I just need to take a little nap. And he has a picture and I'm laid in the arena floor holding my horse, just so tired. But I never felt out of whack. And so in my mind, I'm thinking the only thing that would scare me if the craziest thing happened, because at this point, I'm not riding anything, not riding any colts. I'm not doing anything that is going to be like risky as far as that goes. And I stopped that like a long time ago, just because. So I was like, the only thing that would happen that would scare me is if my horse stumbled, fell. The saddle horn is what causes problems. My doctor's like, it takes something really major to happen. And that, like, a lot of force for all that. And he's like, you'll know when your body tells you. I'm like, okay, well, my body never did. And I just like, man, I don't actually need the saddle horn to breakaway. And that's the only thing that scares me. If he tripped or fell or something and he came up and the saddle horn was there, that's the only thing that scares me at all. I was like, I'm just going to cut it off. And I was like, holy crap, I have a saddle at Martin right now. So I called him. I was like, hey, I know this sounds crazy. I just want you guys to cut that saddle horn off. They're like, you want it shorter? I was like, no, I want it off. They're like, what do you mean off? I was like, I just want it off, like a Bronc saddle. Just make it like a Bronc saddle. I called the PRCA. I called the WPRA. I called the judges. I said, where is it actually qualified? Because, I mean, as well as I do, when you get to a certain position, people are looking to, say you're doing something wrong. I said, where does it say in the rule book that it has to be tied to the saddle horn? And what qualifies as a saddle horn? Like, we go through, I'm telling you, I go get the loopholes with everybody. And they're like, no, you can tie it to the top of the swell. And I'm like, all right, I'm doing it. I did it. And it felt fine. Honestly, the hardest part was getting on your horse. You don't realize how much you pull on the saddle horn to get on your horse, especially when you're freaking,
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. The roping, it's like I'm not really standing up high over the swells anyways. The swells are what holds you in. So.
I mean, I guess, where else would you need your saddle horn? Other than getting on the horse.
She don't hold it anyways. I mean, you're caulk your rope. Yeah.
And I stay in the saddle. Like, I was riding T-Boy that I'd rode for years, and yeah, it was good. Won the first round, won the fastest time of the first round, and freaking, that was the year that, we went the first day, last round of the first day, I was winning the average there. And that's when they missed I caught a back leg, and they missed it. Mm. And I go back, and because I know, they make a big deal. I try not to piss anybody off. They make a big deal about stopping in the arena and saying anything to the judges. So I keep waiting for him. I'm like, I had a back leg. It's obvious, and it was obvious to me. And I go down there and they don't say anything. And so I run my horse back up there and I get to Charlie and I'm like, I had a back leg. Like, what do I do? Are they gonna, what, can I go out into the arena? Like, whatever. And he's like, it's the right thing to do. Do it. And I'm like, I'm going. Like, they can yell at me, whatever. So I go out there, I tell them I have a back leg, and you know how it is. Sometimes they'll get a little, but they listen and they flag me out. So it was cool. And so the next day I was like, frick, new game plan. Go at them. And so, went at them. And at the end of the deal, we honestly did not know. It was between me, Martha, and Jordan. And we had no idea until they announced it out loud.
So you're saying you roped a back leg and they gave you a time, but it should have been a no time.
Uh-huh.
You ever seen that commercial when there's that basketball game?
Icy hot.
That's what I said. He goes, Coach, I touched the ball. It's out of bounds. It's their ball. They're like, good job. Everyone who watches the commercial is like, so shut up. Don't say anything.
Is Let's Freaking Rodeo with Ty and Cole Harris. Of course, their guest this week, the world champion, Jaci Crawford. That story she was talking about, remember when she was pregnant with her baby girl, Journey, at the National Finals of Breakaway Roping in 2020, right here in Arlington, Texas. That was the COVID year, so a lot was going on at that time. But check it out. Watch it now, of course, on our Cowboy channel, Cowboy Channel Plus, and the YouTube page as well. So, yeah, lots going on there with Jaci Crawford. Speaking of breakaway roping, they just had a breakaway roping qualifier for Rodeo Austin, one of our big Texas swing rodeos coming up here really soon. That breakaway roping qualifier was at the NRS up in Decatur, Texas, just 2 days ago.
Yeah, and Taylor Ingesser, her sister is Ricky Ingesser, now Ricky Fanning. You might know that duo. She's a college national champion barrel racer, by the way, Taylor Ingesser, also a registered nurse. She gets the first place in that first round, so congratulations to Taylor on qualifying to Rodeo Austin.
Yeah, and as you look down through here, I mean, there's 4 girls that actually tied for the average win there after a couple of calves are roped, and Taylor was one of those. Lauren Hopkins was another one. She, round number 1, she placed in there with a 2-2, racked her up some money as well. And we'll tell you about how they kind of qualified everybody through this qualifier and how they're getting into Rodeo Austin here coming up just in a moment.
Yeah, and Cammie Krause also a part of that as well. You might know her husband, Tom Krause, just made his first NFR, but Cammie, a great breakaway roper, even a great barrel racer as well. She gets a little piece of that pie for the qualifier. Here's a look at how they get qualified to the top 10 in the aggregate and top 5 in each round. And of course, the WPRA World Standing is going to have a key part in it as well.
Yeah, there it is. They'll take 38 out of last year's standings in the WPRA. They'll take 10 from this year's standings, plus the 20 that you see there from the qualifying event that Corey just told you about. And then also the circuit standings get a piece of it as well. The top 16 from the Texas circuit from last year, the top 4 from this circuit will make up the total list of ladies headed to Rodeo Austin. And when you look at it, part of our Texas Swing here on the Cowboy Channel, it all gets underway March the 13th through the 28th. Every bit of it will be, of course, live right here on the Cowboy Channel. So that's the way it looks for the breakaway ropers getting ready for Rodeo Austin. Stay with us. We've got more to get to here on Western Sports Roundup. We'll be right back.
Stories will tell you more about those footprints and what that means to the great community of San Antonio. But more importantly, there is a great cowboy that we've been telling about for the last couple of weeks. His name is Josh Edwards. Take a look, get a little tease of what's to come this Friday.
You are followed by a medical team, not necessarily daily in the race, but there's a medical team within enough time to help. I mean, there are injuries sustained in this race. People get bucked off the horses. You know, there's dehydration. There's, I don't want to say famine, but you know, if people don't manage their diet right, you know, there's all kinds of things that can happen. So you do wear a tracking device that has an SOS button that if you do get in a situation, you can always hit that button and call for help. So aside from that, you know, there's a basic outlay of where you're trying to get, and you wear that tracking device, and that's kind of how they keep up with you. There is a limit. They do not let you race from, I believe it's 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the mornings, and that's really for, one, the animals, you know, the horses to be able to rest, and 2, for the medical team and everything to get caught up and settled. So, you know, there's 40 riders in the race, and you're all spaced apart. You may even be, you know, towards the end, you may even be a day or two apart. So they've got a large task of trying to manage all that if somebody does get in distress. So they shut the race down at night, you know, at those stages, just to let those people catch up and rest and manage any emergencies they might have taken care of during the day. So at that time, I think that's where you really manage the strategy of your race. It's more about how much distance you can cover in a day. So, you know, technically you cover 66 miles in 10 days and that would finish you, but you know, if you cover 100 miles in a day, you could finish the race in less time. And so it's, you know, what you're willing to push in that 12 hours of race time during the day to try to manage that that strategy. There are some rules that are set for the maintenance of the horses that are in the race. You don't want to overstress them. You don't want any injuries. Obviously, anything is possible, but there are vets at every checkpoint to manage the health and oversee that of all the equine. So you have to factor that into your strategy too. When you come into each checkpoint, the animal's heart rate has to be at or below a certain beats per minute, or you get penalized. So you can't just, lope for 10 miles and then come in and get off and leave the horse hot. You really have to develop a strategy of cooling the horse down before you get to the checkpoint in order to be able to continue through the checkpoint. If not, you're penalized by time to stay in the checkpoint. So it's very strategic as far as the race is concerned.
It is going to be fun hosting this show this week. That is Inside Pro Rodeo. Starts Friday night at 6 o'clock Eastern, so hopefully you guys have that locked in on your DVRs and ready to record to keep up with all the cool stories going on in professional rodeo. But it is time for our Veterans Top 3, Clean, Treat, and Heel. We told you about the champions from Salt Lake City over the weekend with the professional bull riders, the UTB event. And of course, Paulo Rossetto captures the title with Scrappy in the final round with 88.9 to win it all.
Resistol Rookie Tuesday here on the Cowboy Channel. We talked to the #1 Resistol Rookie in the breakaway roping. It's that Jaci Hammons, and of course, got some great video from her at some of the rodeos that she's already won and competed at this season. Looking good for her. And in the saddle bronc riding, of course, Rusty Wright, the co-champion of the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, now, thanks to the big win there, moves to #1 in the world standings. So that's some of your highlights that we had on the show. We've got lots to talk about for this weekend, too. There is lots coming up here to be a part of the Cowboy Channel, and we invite you to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, you know what they say, let's rodeo San Antonio. It's the Stock Show and Rodeo kicks off this weekend, February 12th through the 28th. One of those big Texas swing rodeos that's going to have some big changes to the world standings in the days to come.
That gets started here in just 2 days. And then, of course, the Dixie National over in Jackson, Mississippi. It'll be streaming on our Cowboy Channel Plus app, so you can keep up with everything going on there as well. Gets underway February the 13th, and it will continue all the way through the 21st.
Yeah, and hopefully you have that Cowboy Channel Plus app downloaded, because you can watch the Cinch World's toughest event in St. Paul, Minnesota this weekend as well, February 13th and 14th. Remember, that is on the Cowboy Channel Plus app, a lot of different ways to watch.
No matter what, we want you watching the Cowboy Channel. That's going to wrap it up for Western Sports Roundup. That's Corey Keith. I'm Ty McClary. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.